Hi, everybody. I'm Pierre Bouvard, Chief Insights Officer here at the Audio Active Group at Cumulus Media and Westwood One. And what is the very latest on Americans commuting to work? Over the last 4 years, we've conducted a series of studies to understand the commuting patterns of average Americans and marketers and media agencies. First, we've commissioned advertiser perceptions, the gold standard of what advertisers think and marketing agencies do. This past April, we surveyed 305 buy-side executives. We also fielded a study of 1,600 average Americans age 18 plus also in April. So you're looking at the very latest on the state of going to work and commuting. So first, let's take a look at marketers and their media agencies. So here we're looking at April 2022 all the way to the most current April 2025 reading. Those that say, yes, I'm commuting to work all or most days among marketers and media agencies has almost tripled from 22% in April of 2022 to 57% in April of 2025. And those that are commuting to work, marketers and media agencies, most or all days, has obviously hit a post-pandemic high. Those that say they are commuting some days has actually dropped, and those that are working from home only has also dropped from almost 4 out of 10 marketers and media agencies to only 11%. Average Americans have decisively returned to the workplace back in April of 20. And the height of the pandemic, Nielsen conducted a study and found that over half of American workers were working from home. That quickly resumed commute, and we can see that we've been in the typical 85-15 pattern of those that are working out of the home versus working at the home. And this is pretty much what we saw before the pandemic, that 85-15. The marketer and media agency and average American lines have kind of converged. From 22 to 23, there were more Americans commuting to work than marketers and media agencies. Beginning last spring of 24, those lines have converged. So let's talk about number of days per week. Marketers and media agencies, along with average Americans, are commuting. The average Americans are about 4.7 days commuting to work in a typical week. Marketers and media agencies about 4.2. But if you look at marketers and media agencies who say they're going to the office 5 days, you can see that has jumped from 22% to 50% in the most recent reading. And in terms of days per week, very high at office for both average Americans in blue and marketers and media agencies in gray from Monday through Thursday. Definitely Friday is a different story, with only 63% of marketers and media agencies showing up to the office on that day. And in dark blue, average Americans, more of them are working on the weekends. So what about the marketers and media agencies doing in-person vendor meetings and industry conferences and events? Well, we see the biggest jump since the pandemic. Now, 74% of marketers and media agencies say they have resumed in-person meetings with media vendors. 76% are now attending conferences and events, both of those post-pandemic highs. With all this commuting, what is going on with audio listening in the car? What is the share of in-car listening going to AM/FM, and how much total in-car listening is occurring as a proportion of total radio listening? So in-car, ad-supported AM/FM shares from the Q4 2024 Edison Share of Ear reveals AM/FM has a dominant 86 share of in-car ad-supported audio. So if you're looking to reach Americans on the path to purchase, literally all roads lead to AM/FM radio. And over the last 8 years, the AM/FM in-car share of ad-supported audio has been steady as a rock in the mid to high 80s. When you look at the proportion of total radio listening occurring in the car pre-pandemic, it averaged in the high 40s, low 50s. We saw a 2-year dip down post-pandemic in 21 and 22, but in-car listening as a proportion of total radio listening has roared back at 53% in the most recent reading. And when you look at the shares by demographic of ad-supported audio in the car, it is stunning, the dominance of AM/FM radio. Even look at 1834. AM/FM radio has an 80 share of in-car ad-supported audio, an 83 share, 18 to 49. So definitely, if you want to reach Americans on the path to purchase, regardless of the demographic, look no further than AM/FM radio. So the key findings from the just released April 25 advertiser perceptions revealed the proportion of marketers and media agencies who are commuting most or all days at 57% hits a record post-pandemic high. 85% of average Americans are commuting to work, the same as marketers and media agencies, and pretty much the same as pre-pandemic. In the car, Edison's share of ear, AM/FM, a dominant 86 share of in-car ad-supported audio, courtesy of Edison's Q4 2024 share of ear. And number of days per week, marketers and media agencies 4.2, average Americans 4.7, and pretty good attendance in the office for marketers and media agencies Monday through Thursday. Friday, a little bit lower for both average Americans and marketers and media agencies. And in-person brand and media agency meetings with vendors and attending events and conferences also hitting record post-pandemic highs at 3/4. The Audio Active Group here at Cumulus Media in Westwood One is a full-service brand advisory for national marketers. We provide audio insights, media planning recommendations, and measurement, whether it be brand lift, sales effect, search and site attribution, and we also do a tremendous amount of creative testing and creative best practices. Each and every week, we publish a new audio insight. You can find it on our Audio Active Group blog at cumulusmedia.com or westwood1.com. And when you're there, you can sign up to get our weekly audio case study and insight sent directly to your email box. Thanks so much for the opportunity to share with you the just released April 25 advertiser perceptions and quantilope study of commuting. Thanks so much.